JJ, what did you see in that third quarter as you're able to kind of battle back in and at least make it a game going into the fourth?
Yeah, look, expected score, we were down to it at halftime. Expected score, we won by 2. First half, we had the highest paint touch rate we've had in a half, I think, or one of the highest paint touch rates we've had. We've been one of the best non-rim paint 2 teams in the league. We shot 5 for 13 there. They blitzed us from 3, and in that first half, and we outscored them by 1 the last 3 quarters. Unfortunately, that's not how basketball works, and you end up losing the game by 21. So I thought our fight was good. There was a lot of moments when we certainly could have broken, and we didn't, and it's a credit to our guys.
Anything you saw from the threes that they were hitting? Did they just hit tough ones? Were you? Yeah, I mean, look, testing how you wanted? Jaylen
Brown is a low 30% off the dribble 3-point shooter. He hits 3 threes in a row in the third quarter. Jordan Walsh, we were willing to live with, his threes. We got to give up something. He hits 4 of them. We ended up getting a contest on 3 of them. So you got to be willing to live with certain things, and they made us pay. And that's. You can talk about a game plan all you want, but you got to be able to figure out what you're willing to live with. And we've obviously done that many times, and they made us pay tonight.
I was just curious about the expected score that you referenced. Is that an internal metric?
That's you can find that anywhere. That's our internal metric. I mean, most teams have that. Some of the analytics stuff has that, but that's based on shot quality, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Is that something you reference regularly, like game to game?
We know what it is at halftime every game. Some of that is, we talk about scoring opportunity battle. We talk about expected score. Yeah.
How do you think Gabe has kind of progressed and looked since he got back from that injury? He missed a lot of time with that ankle injury, and now having him start for back-to-back games with Luka out. How do you think Gabe's kind of looked and progressed in this role?
Just again, we've talked about trying to get him back into a rhythm that he ended the season the last 3-4 months shooting the basketball really well, playing really high level for us, and started had a great preseason, and then gets hurt. I think in game 2, so or game 3, whatever the Sacramento game was. So just trying to get him back in a rhythm, and when we're whole, that role could fluctuate for him in terms of playing time. But he's obviously got to play minutes, and it was good to see him make some shots tonight.
JJ, you've talked a lot in your time here about divorcing process from results as much as possible. When your guys' results have been as good as they've been, and you have a night where the process was to standard but the result isn't there, how much of your message to your team is centered around that, and did you center that on any specific people or players just to kind of reinforce that?
We talked about it after the game. We talked about it at halftime, frankly. We, I think, way more consistently than we did last year, have, sort of audited and shown the team what we're auditing more consistently this season, and why we want those things, and trying to explain to them. So I don't think tonight was any different. The tape is not going to lie in terms of effort and physicality and all that stuff, but I thought our group fought, and I thought our group had the right spirit.
Coach, you mentioned before the game that you've seen Derek White start to turn things around after a slow start shooting. Just what does it do for the Celtics when he gets going offensively?
Yeah, I mean it's tough when you have guys that can break down their defender and force a reaction from the defense, and when the defense does react, outside of the Cada minutes, they played small, and those guys are capable shooters. Walsh, Josh Minot, Derek White, obviously he's been on our laser board last season, and so it's a in terms of their philosophy of how they're going to play and their roster, it's a great match, and Derek's a big part of that.
You had mentioned that there's a chance that Luka's back on Sunday. Is that the hope for LeBron as well, like coming off of the back-to-back, or was there anything else that kind of popped up in that game?
I mean, the hope for all the guys would be that they're available Sunday. That's the hope for everybody.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.